It's also interesting you mentioned that the kind of cow also makes a difference. So can you help us explain, like, what do you mean by that? Because you say that all cows are not the same.
Yeah, the people with whom I work who are researching in India, they have researched on different species of cows, including the hybrid cows. You know, the one I was saying that they are not actually cows because we don't know what animal is that because they've been crossbreeded with two different animals. If you go, you know, the way we have it in agriculture where the root is different and then you plant a different grafted. Yeah. So right now, do you know in India they are grafting even tomato plants? It's not only the fruit trees. So people have gone much higher because why? It stays longer and you're getting better fruits. So let's say indigenous Indian or indigenous African or indigenous cow. When you talk of indigenous, you have specific genes being indigenous, which means today, if you and me, we go to Turkana and we come back, I'm the first person who's going to go sick because I'm not indigenous for this environment. But you are born and brought up here, you know. So this is two different things. Now, when you look at the cows which we have here, which is specifically for milk industry, they are specifically targeting it for milk. So something which animal which was supposed to produce 3 liters or 5 liters or 7 liters of milk, it has been I don't know if it is genetically modified or whatever you call it. They have been crossbreeded into an animal with a specific intention of giving more milk. Now, when you change all these things, the internal things of that cow has changed. So, what is coming out from that cow as manure is also not that helpful as compared to a indigenous cow. But that does, I'm not saying that you sell all your cows and buy indigenous cow. What I'm saying is if you have got, just add one indigenous cow, so that will help. So if you have 10, 15 cows, just add one indigenous cow, have it there. And if you're going our way, so we show you the whole thing because now when we go there, we change the food for that cow. We tell them don't vaccinate it. We give them different natural options of doing it, and we guarantee that the cow will not die. So what happens is now slowly, you start seeing benefit of that cow on your farm. So let me tell you something. If you have a cow, if you're making more money from the cow dung of that cow, will you ever sell that cow? Will you ever eat that cow? It's as simple as that. So milk is the byproduct. And there are many comparisons which talk about milk from an indigenous cow and milk from the other cow. They're two different things. And there are a lot of things about it. So I think the species of cow really plays a very important role.
For sure, for sure. That one I agree because I've had the privilege of really going into people specializing like dairy production. I also saw that in the Netherlands as well. They have huge places for just dairy cows, and usually the lifespan of this milk production, I think it's 3 years. By the fourth year, they have already sent it into the meat processing industry because it's not producing enough milk for it to be profitable. So they send it into the butcheries so that they can produce meat and stuff. So normally a cow is supposed to, I think, 10, 12 years. But for this made for milk production, it's usually 3 years. So huge difference in terms of what happens when you hybridize a cow. Also, what I noticed, the dung itself smells different.
I can talk a lot about it because every time when I used to come home, the only thing I used to smell was dung. I was not allowed to get into the house before I take a shower. Everything is removed outside, straight, take a shower and then you come out. Now, when they start our process, when we spray the soil conditioners, and when you do this process of 3 months of making the cow organic, many times we have noticed in India that there is no smell in the dung. See, you have to understand, we call it free grazing. See, why do the Arabs or the countries who are buying our meat, why do they like it? Because the difference in meat coming from the so-called milk producing countries and us here. So they are grazing out and they are happy. Okay, the cow does not know that it is going to be slaughtered tomorrow. Yeah. But look at that cow. You have seen so many people who are animal activists and they show, if you talk of Netherlands, you see, it's for people to understand. Me, as I told you in my culture, we pray. Cow is like, it's we see God in cow, if you look at it like that. So, we're coming back to the same thing. Those milk producing, let's take an example. Those milk producing countries, whether it's Netherlands or any country, the excess milk, I don't know if you know about the protein powders what are made. Milk, when it is produced, how many hours can it stay?
About 10 hours.
The whey protein, when it comes to you, it has got an expiry of 2 years. How? What made it stay? I'm just asking. I'm not saying it is good, bad. I'm not promoting or saying anything. So there is something you have put inside it which has made it stay for 2 years. Now, when you buy an orange which has come from South Africa or Egypt, apples, they have come here after 30 days. What did make it stay like that? Yet, we don't want to buy something which is grown locally. One of the best oranges in the world are the pixies which we get from over here. But that pixie guy will get 100 shillings a kilo, 120 shillings a kilo. But when you go to Carrefour, you are going to buy those South African oranges for 450 shillings a kilo. This is the problem. Because you think it is better, but it is not.